Hi, it's me again. My name's Denise Cooper, and I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Remarkable Leadership Lessons, and I am so happy that you joined me. This is number 5 in the series of video blogs that I'm doing to help people live out loud. If you've been participating and listening up until now, you'll know that I was inspired by the video between Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey, the last days of our First Lady in office, and this whole idea that she's been promoting for the last 8 years about we should all be proud and live out loud. I just love it. So I've decided to just put together 10 or 12 videos so that you can get some of the tips and lessons that I've learned working with other leaders, as well as the things that I've learned over my career, which has been well over 25 years. I only admit to that. I'm working with a variety of people in a variety of industries, and I hope that out of the series you can get 1 or 2 things that will make your next 12 months, your life, one step better and closer to achieving the goals that you have set for yourself, your family, your friends, and things that are going to make you smile and just feel good. So without ado, let me give you a little bit of history, let you know where we're at on this. First one we did was about self-awareness and the fact that for the most part, most people generally just don't know what it is about them that is unique, not only unique, but creates value for others. What are those strengths and characteristics that when we put them together make us really powerful performers and also touch our heart in a way that makes us want to be more productive, to feel successful, to do more, to be more in the world. The other is that, life is just life. And every now and then you get a gut punch. And there's lots of sayings that mislead us. I really think that a lot of the short sales tips that you see all over the internet and on TV really do a disservice because they don't really tell us how to do something. They tell us what we should do. They tell us why we should do. And this whole idea of getting up after you've been knocked down is one of those areas where there's lots of, it's not, a measure of a person is not how many times they got knocked down, but did they get up, Yeah, that's great, but how do I get up when, my expectations just get dazzled and frazzled, and I just don't know what to do sometimes, when I get stuck. And I've been stuck in my life, and I'm sure once or twice if you've been stuck, and if you haven't, then just keep living because it's going to come. The other is that I don't believe that we dream enough. In fact, I think we have forgotten how to dream. And we think we know how to dream, but dreaming is really about going after the big things, the things that are just frightening in some ways. But if you did it, my God, you would just feel so alive in what you're doing. This idea and this discussion about passion and do I have a passion and what's my purpose? I think I meet so many people, clients, executives, kids, that I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my passion is, and they feel really bad because they don't know what it is. Well, that video blog talks about, how do you dream? What does it mean to dream? And how do you make dreams come true? The other end, and the last one I just did, was about why people fail because of goals, And the reality is that 80% of people, 90% of people just don't make goals. There's been enough studies that say, for the most part, even with New Year's resolutions, doctors who tell you that if you don't change, you're going to die or you're going to have some horrible disease, people just don't change. They find it hard. They can't set that goal that they're going to change, and they just don't change. Well, this is a two-parter. So before it was about why don't we change, and how come we don't have goals that really we get to see measurable change in our lives. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit now about, I'm not sure it's your fault because I think we've been misled again. The goal setting that most people learned is something that happened when we were not in near as much change and technology, with jobs, with globalization, and there was time and you could think about it and there was plenty of resources. But today, companies are resource scarce. They are lean and mean, and the dollar just does not go as far as it used to. And executives are under tremendous pressure to meet the financial results of their companies. Short-term gains have really taken over the mindset and the thinking and the strategy that most companies have. And so because of that, we've just gotten really not very good at setting goals and achieving goals under today's standards. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about you learning how to set goals. As I said before, about 9 out of 10, probably 9.5 out of 10 people will not be able to achieve a goal, even if their life depends on it. A doctor can come in, say you have cancer. We know that if you continue to smoke, there's a high probability you're going to wind up with cancer. If you don't lose weight, if you don't sleep, if you don't spend time with your children, all of these things are going to lead us to outcomes that we really don't want to have to deal with, and yet we do not change our behavior so that we avoid those outcomes. And it's kind of remarkable when you look at it. But I think the reason we don't is because we don't understand how to set goals, let alone how to achieve goals. So, what are some of the goals? What are some of the reasons why goals are poorly constructed? And that's what this is about. One is most goals are built on willpower. It's real simple. We think if I just put enough effort to it, if I just hold my will, if I just push through it, I'm going to achieve. Well, the problem is willpower is just like a muscle. And at some point, you're going to fatigue the muscle, and that's when you revert. Studies have shown that for the most part, when you're looking to hold a goal, you can keep that goal front and center for about 17 days. And then about the 17th day, life just fills in again. And you just don't achieve it because we have not constructed our plan to implement those goals in a way that is going to make it achievable for us. The other is that life is just busy, and we tend to over plan and set too many goals, and those goals are not goals that are aligned to achieve our big goals. So what happens is that when we have to do our daily prioritization, we get in the office, the phone starts ringing, email starts going, the kids are screaming for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. What happens is we default to what are the things that are urgent in front of us. And we don't even know if the urgent is really important. We just know it's urgent because we need to get out from under that stress. So a lot of the things that we accomplish has nothing to do with our goals. It has to do with stress relief. Getting somebody, getting those items off so that we can breathe again. The last one is that the reason we're unable to implement our goals, implement a plan around our goals, is because we're not really good at leadership. And we think that leadership is bestowed upon us by a title or a position. And in reality, we all are leaders. The definition of leading is simply inspiring and getting other people to act in a way that we achieve common goals. Usually common self-interest, but sometimes that doesn't always. But truly, it's about getting you to understand that you have the ability to persuade people to achieve a goal, and that's what this is about. So the first thing that I want you to think about is something that I talked about with self-awareness, and that is you need to understand that it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You really are a leader, and you have the skills to be a leader. That's the first thing. Decide that you're going to take charge of your life, you're going to take charge of your performance, you're going to take charge of the outcomes, and you're going to be more intentional about that. So that's the first thing. And so one of the things that I talk to people about is, so there's kind of like 8 things that you can do. You don't have to do all of them because remember I said before, most of the time we just load up that plate with lots and lots of goals. Well, I'm going to tell you, here's 8 things that can really significantly improve your ability to influence other individuals. The first is that you need to recognize that there really is only 168 hours in a week. That's it. 24 times 7, 168 hours. And that you totally control what goes on during that particular time. thinking through what that looks like is important, and how are you going to carve out some time to achieve your goals is probably the number one thing, because time is a non-renewable resource and it is your resource to control. The other is that you need to think about building relationships. So go out to lunch. There's lots of research that says the fact that you actually go out to lunch, even if you bring your lunch to work, just getting away from your office improves your ability to process information and make decisions. For the most part, by noon, people have decision fatigue and are unable to really make more decisions, and certainly complex decisions, post their lunch period or that noon or 1 o'clock period. And so the way to bring yourself back to center is actually to go outside, get some fresh air, walk around, take some time to eat your lunch. And it really helps if you take your lunch with coworkers or other individuals. Why? You get to talking, clears up your head, and in some cases you can get a friend and ally to help you achieve some of your goals. The other one is something that I did for years and years and years, and I encourage my clients and friends to do, and that is to keep a daily journal. Now, I'm not asking you to write down all the thoughts that go through your head, but I am saying that you should be able to answer 3 questions. One is, what did you get done today? Don't judge. Whatever it was that you accomplished today, that's one of the things that you should be writing about. If you're an executive, then you should be writing down exactly what did you notice your people got accomplished during the day. And if you don't know, ask them. It's no problem to ask them in a week. I guarantee you that if you ask them one time during the week, what'd you get accomplished over the last 5 days? You will, and write that down. By the time it's time for you to give feedback, you'll have the feedback that you need. Plus, you'll be able to see in the moment whether your team is working effectively, and you can do course correcting, which allows you to do the next one, which is thank people. Every quarter, you should write out a note or do something kind for someone who is a customer of yours, someone that you really appreciate. It doesn't have to be big. A simple letter that says, you know what, I really appreciate you and your words and your kindness, or the way you handled a project, or the fact that I can always depend on you. Once a quarter is all we're talking about. And it shouldn't take you more than, 5 minutes to do that. Thank people for being in your life, for contributing and supporting you, and make sure that they know how you appreciate them at all levels in the organization. The other is I tell people, we do all kinds of audits at work, but we never do a skill audit. When's the last time that you actually sat down and thought about the growth that you have had over the last 6, 8, 12 months? Write it down. Decide on what your skills audit is. How are you sizing yourself up for the market? The other is that learn how to get buy-in from others for your idea. It is an art and a science in terms of that, and there are plenty of books out there to help you do it. The other is up your presence. I tell every last one of my clients, you should be on LinkedIn, not just because it promotes your presence, and if you're in the job market, you need it, but the idea of helping people and meeting people who may have ideas that will help you perform better at work, create more value, or solve a really tough problem. LinkedIn is the place for business people to understand what's happening in the market, as well as make the kinds of connections that can bring the right solutions to you. The last one is, and this one is a biggie. Every company that I go into, the number one thing I start asking the executives is, tell me about your business model. And if you haven't known about it, the business model is a 9-box visual of how the business works. Where does the money come? Who are the customers? Who are the suppliers? How do you measure the effectiveness of any one of these 9 boxes? You can Google it, or you can send me an email and let me know, and I'll be glad to send you a copy of it. So that's pretty much it. These video blogs are about 10-15 minutes long, and I wanted to make sure that you got 8 great tips on how you could improve your leadership impact, and by doing that, you're going to improve your ability to implement your goals. Again, my name's Denise Cooper. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Remarkable Leadership Lessons. I hope to see you on the next one. If you've got questions, go to my Facebook page, and all the information is down below. Send me a question, and I would love, love, love to hear from you. Until the next one, bye.